A great welcome to all of the viewers who are watching us today in a new episode around Kuwait, where we bring for you all of the updates and new information that is happening within our beloved country, Kuwait. With that, I'm going to welcome with me in the studio today my co-host Abdulaziz Darwish. I'm really happy to have you here.
It's the pleasure is mine. I would like to greet you as well and all the working crew. And hello everyone, and welcome to your show Around Kuwait. This is your host Abdulaziz Darwish. Me and also Hibal Gahtam are gonna showcasing always about our show Around Kuwait, what happened, the latest events and occasions and everything new where and around Kuwait show, because you're already our camera crew traveling everywhere, and this is our job every time, every day. It's like we call it a daily episode. We're sharing with you about the latest events today, and today our already episode, my co-host Hiba, it's precious.
Yes.
Medicine, engineering, and even more also, Hiba.
Yes, indeed. So starting with our first headline, we're going to know more about Mubarak Al-Kabir Hospital, where they actually got a global award. So we congratulate them on that, of course.
And also, we're on behalf of our show Around Kuwait, we're sending our gratitude and congratulations for everyone who's working, every person inside Mubarak Al-Kabir Hospital, the White Armies. We are congratulate you, and we are very proud of you, what you are doing, an amazing job for the sick, for the resident, even the citizens in the wards, in the ICU, and the employees everywhere. We are very proud of it.
Yes, indeed. And of course, when it comes into that, we would like to continue talking more about energy, water, conference and exhibition. I'm very sure that everyone is really eager to know more about that, especially it's one of the most important things that we're having here in Kuwait.
And also because we call it the Arab Water and Energy Exhibition and even conference. It's the first time ever happening in the state of Kuwait, with the presence for His Excellency the Minister of Electricity and Water and Renewable Energy, Dr. Jassim Al-Ustad, and even the excellencies, Kuwaiti guests from different categories.
Yes.
From, we call it the excellencies, the ambassadors from friendly countries, and everyone's an expert in, we call it the energy consumption and also water, because we consider all the time energy and water, they are the foundation of life and even sustainable, Hiba.
Yes, and I'm very sure that they're going to discussing the most important matter when it comes into that matter and all of the updates that is actually happening within the field. So continuing with our last headline, we're going to talk more about in our school that we have a rescue, so a rescuer in our school. So this is something very interesting to hear about and to know more about.
And also, my co-host Hiba, I know like you know more about the education field.
Yes.
And when you learn something about the first aid, something to rescue, it's important for the students also, and even for the teachers, right?
Yes, indeed, and especially that you are in a contact every time with a specific student with different kind of age and personality. So you would be very shocked when it comes into all of these cases that is actually been presented in school, and the teacher is the first person to be associated with them, staying with them for a whole day. So they should have a way to know more about first aid, how to rescue a child in many kind of cases. So Abdulaziz, I'm very sure that all of our viewers would like to know more about our headlines, so stay tuned to this.
We are back to our show again, Around Kuwait. As usual, already shared with you about the main headlines, and now we'll talk about our first topic for today. We are very proud and today we'll talk about something about achievement in our lovely country, state of Kuwait, especially in the medicine field. Mubarak Al Kabir Hospital got
Yes.
awarded from like an international achievement from the World Stroke Organization. It's a very big reward about we call it the stroke, also people who's working in the hospital.
Yes, indeed. And to be honest, they've been working for quite a lot, and especially if we're talking about the staff itself, from the beginning, once they capture the patient themselves, coming through the ER, going through the process itself. I mean, there's always a saying, Abdulaziz, when we're talking about hospital, is like you have to enter through the emergency, come with the ambulance, everyone will treat you very fast, and everything will be presented for you when it comes into certain, let's say, checkups. But if you enter by yourself, you know, you have to go through procedures, but you can see how good they are actually working and how satisfying they are when it comes into dealing with such matters, especially if we're talking about stroke. Now, we know stroke is one of the kind of, let's say, situation that a person could actually not want to face. But unfortunately, we're not only having stroke for elderly people, but even a young generation, the one who goes to the gym and try to work out and try to maintain their health, are actually facing stroke during gym and during workout. Therefore, having that great remarkable achievement that makes them into an elite category and situation is very remarkable.
And we are very grateful to them. You mentioned something very important, like the young people, when they are doing like they are working out too much hard,
Yes.
and maybe they are falling down directly.
Yes.
So you will see a team coming to you like a blink an eye, like a couple of minutes, they are reaching you. We call it the EMS. They are reaching them, and they are grabbing any person who is like a patient, and they are driving very fast to nearly to the any hospital for the casualties, and see this procedure going very smooth.
Yes.
And because when they are dealing with every case, it's very important by itself.
Yes.
But the situation when they are dealing all the time, you will see it's interesting, but because they know what their job, and they are also, because they are very dedicated, because it comes from constant behavior and dedication, and we call it every time they are always ready.
Yes.
They are working every day for this kind of cases, from the ambulance to the administration to the ward, and even to the inside any room of the ICUs and even any rooms. So that's why they are dealing with the case very fast, because of their uniqueness, because of their dedication, the nursing, and also the doctors and people who's working in the field. That's why they get awarded from the World Stroke Organization, because how they are dealing with the patient, especially people who face from the stroke directly, or elderly, and even you mentioned the young person also, Hiba.
Yes, indeed. And especially that, I'm very sure that there are lots of procedures when it comes into evaluating the position itself or the award itself. I mean, they have to go through a lot of things that should be making them qualified to be recognized by such awarding category itself. Having Mubarak Al Kabir Hospital is, it is one of the hospitals that are really occupied with lots of patients, and even at the same time, if we're talking about medicine students themselves, I mean, the college itself is actually aside to the hospital. Therefore, you would find it really busy, very occupied, 24/7. Out of the hours itself, people are actually visiting the hospital. So having that said, being presented, having that opportunity for presenting and participating and being recognized from the World Stroke Organization is something very remarkable. Talking about the staff, talking about the members, talking about all of the things that is associated, especially when we're talking about stroke case, is very important to highlight for our audience, is that it's really critical when you're dealing with the patient itself, critical dealing with the family members. Everyone is really terrified, scared, in a temporary way. So they want to always make sure that everyone is safe and sound, and that is where it actually presented in the hospital itself.
And also, Hiba, it's very well said from you when you mention about the students, because the Mubarak Al Kabir Hospital, beside it already the medicine college. That's why when you go on any wards every day in the early morning, 7 a.m., you will see we call the consultants are moving around checking the patients during the wards, and the students always with them all the time from the medicine college. So two main major buildings and too much people like too much professors and consultation and doctors around them. So that's why even if you realize like there is too many departments inside Mubarak Kabir
Yes.
Hospital, you will see it's like for us is a maze.
Yes.
But for them it's like too many big departments. There's like more departments, more than you imagine.
Yes.
Not like the private hospitals. These people working there, they are working too much hard because the cases they are facing all the time, the dedication they are doing in their job all the time, they're always ready. They're always like, they are always in time, on time. So that's why every person there, they are like a complete serious.
Yes.
Everyone is doing his own job. Even
Yes.
the students, they are learning very fast because the more cases they are facing, they are very good dealing with the patients as well, Hiba.
Yes, you know, Abdulaziz, something that you just said made me really a little bit laugh inside myself because when you said the word maze, it is really a maze. Like sometimes when I enter to a certain, let's say, path, I always feel like I want to keep my handprint on the wall so I can know that I'm not
So you
turning,
know, yeah.
I'm not circling all around. And especially if we're talking about, you know, having appointments in the morning, trying to go over there with all of the crowds, trying to find your place and not to, let's say, get lost because in the end, it's all about time. And once you're late, you're always going to be either postponed it for another day or having a little bit of crowd in front of you. So having with that said, one of the most important thing that is actually happening in the hospital itself is the feelings and the emotions of the workers, you know. Us as patients, we always want to go to a place everyone would welcome us. We don't want to have anyone with any negative energy. I'm a patient, you have to be very, let's say, precise when it comes into accepting me and having me in the hospital. Therefore, we'd like to also remind everyone when it comes into that they are doctors, nurse, staff that are working 24/7. Maybe you're facing them in a shift that they're actually in a night shift. Therefore, they're very tense, they're very temper, they're very into that.
Anxious.
Yes, and that emotional phase. So try to always control your emotion and try to put yourself in their own position. In the end, they are trying their best just to achieve towards satisfying you and trying to find you the proper situation and solution itself. Therefore, this is very important, talking about the advanced treatment that has actually been associated when it comes into a stroke case, when it comes into dealing with all of these matters. Now, this is one of the things that they were recognized for, and of course, to be having that said for the audience to know more about it.
And also, there is an addition, they are also humans at the end.
Yes.
They are also employees, but the working types are different than us
Yes.
because they are working 24/7 and they are teams and they are facing too many different cases. And we are dealing with the patients because they are afraid about themselves.
Yes.
Sometimes they don't know how to express about their pain, about their disease, even their parents, because sometimes when you see people going to the wards all the time, you will see there is 3 shifts, morning, afternoon and evening shifts. They are moving around the wards and they are checking the patients. You will see
Right.
different emotions, different persons, different people. And also we see all the time your fingers are not the same.
Indeed.
Even the people, so they are always containing us all the time in a very good smile and like patience and a good way to talk. Even the patient may be suffering too many like big disease or maybe severe cases. They know how to contain us in a good way, just like to talk us like is please 1, 2, 3, this is steps, this is the phases, the patients required 1, 2, 3. So the way how they are describing to us, they are also very they are expert.
Yes.
That's
Yes,
why they are comforting us
Yes.
as a family of the patient as well, Hiba.
Yes,
And
indeed.
that's why we'll talk about the WSO's primary mission, like because you know there is something else also, because Mubarak Al Kabir Hospital, they are contribution, they have too many collaborations. So the people are working with them because we all say all the time, one hand cannot clap.
Indeed.
So for sure there is people are working around them. Too many entities, too many ministers around them. That's why when you enter, you will see too many different categories of people.
Yes.
Not only the brochure of MOH,
Yes.
there is MOI, MO something, MOE. That's
Yes.
good.
So also when you're talking about the World Stroke Organization, one of the things that was presented and recognized by Mubarak Al Kabir Hospital is that the cases that's been dealt with stroke and the amount of people who are, let's say, they helped in the treatment itself to actually, let's say, get over that kind of a situation and that kind of matter without having any lost with their lives. Therefore, that's why they were recognized. That's why they were picked as one of the great hospitals that been awarded and recognized by the WSO itself. Therefore, the treatment for the stroke itself, how it actually measures, how they deal with the patient itself, how they get them to, let's say, recover in a better way without making them go into a worse situation that they could, let's say, be led to. So that is one of the reasons why they were recognized.
And even then we mention something else also about the quality. When we mention about the quality, it means working hard, it means the instruments, it means the people, it means everything. Quality is like one word but different meanings, and too many things like combining together. Quality, this is the main issue that they already are the main keynote for their success. When we mention about the quality of the team, quality of the people, quality blah blah blah, etc., etc., because quality is the leading of success, because they are counting the minutes, they are counting the cases, they're counting about how they are dealing with the patients. So that's why the serving of the treatment and how they are dealing with the case, because there is also commitment. Commitment and the quality is the keynote of everything. And we have to mention something else, the preparation.
Yes.
I know every time you have to prepare for something, but imagine like us, like a soldiers, you know, but they are army, we call them white army.
Yes.
Army is always like they are working every day because maybe something happened one day in their lifetime. That's why they are also dedicated every day for this kind of cases.
Yes.
That's why, because they get awarded because of their quality and also their commitment, Hiba.
Yes, I couldn't agree more with you on that, because you know, getting this acknowledgement by Mubarak Al-Kabir Hospital actually means that they are serving the treatment itself, presenting several, as you just said and highlighted, the most important commitment that they could actually offer. Therefore, you know, doctors always have that oath of medicine that you're actually going to treat no matter what are the circumstances. I know dealing with stroke could be something very terrifying, could be very tempting, and even at the same time they're under pressure, you know, because this is like a TikTok situation. It's like you have to know what to do immediately. You're not dealing with a certain age, you have different varieties of age, weight, situations, even when it comes into the history. Having that said, the timing is very important in order for you to take all of the tests that you need to take. Looking through your history of the patient itself, what they're going through, were they under pressure? Is it because of obesity? Is it because of diabetic patient? Like all of these kind of situation, dealing with that and being presented for the from the doctors itself, and even with the helpers as nurses and all of the staff itself, for them to actually achieve that. I mean, saying that they actually saved a lot of lives, the amount of patients were reduced when it comes into, let's say, getting back into another stroke or getting into worse scenario. It's very great to hear about, because this is something very positive. It gives a very energetic, let's say, side for the hospital itself, because us as Kuwaiti patients, we always say that it's always busy, I cannot be treated, like, am I being treated right? I mean, there you go, you have a recognition award presented for Mubarak Al-Kabir Hospital in a specific, very important matter, talking about stroke cases itself. Therefore, it's all been said that they're working 24/7. They're working so hard on trying to let everyone pass through what they're passing, and that's very great to hear about it.
And also, in addition about their beautiful smile, also they're smiling all the time, to containing always the patient and even the families. We can say all the time, dear viewers, let your smile change the world, don't let the world change your smile. Dear viewers, go to this tiny break, they will continue your show around Kuwait.
The Arab Energy and Water Exhibition and Conference are at the forefront of sustainable development in the region, aligning with global efforts to combat climate change. Kuwait, in collaboration with the Ministry of Electricity, Water and Renewable Energy and the Kuwait Authority for Partnership Projects, is gearing up to launch a significant project, the Shagaya and Idibaba plant, with a capacity of 4,000 megawatts. This project focused on renewable energy sources, showcasing Kuwait's commitment to sustainable energy. The Ministry of Electricity, Water, and Renewable Energy, in its efforts to improve efficiency and reduce carbon emissions, is emphasizing natural gas and combined cycle plants, while exploring hydrogen production and carbon capture technologies. These initiatives align with the Middle East Green Initiative's goals of reducing carbon emissions by over 60% and planting 50 billion trees across the Middle East. The Arab region's role in combating climate change gained international recognition when Egypt hosted the COP27 World Climate Summit, where important decisions were made to accelerate the energy transition. The upcoming COP28 World Climate Summit in the United Arab Emirates holds great promise for continuing these efforts. The conference's theme, Insights of Global Leaders and Professionals on the Futures of Energy and Water in the Arab Region, brings leaders and experts together to discuss critical topics including legislation, conventional power plant efficiency, renewable energy reliability, and water and energy conservation in smart cities. The Arab Energy and Water Exhibition and Conference serves as a vital platform for fostering collaboration and innovation in the energy and water sectors. By promoting sustainable solutions and supporting regional development, it contributes to a greener and more prosperous future for the Arab world.
And we are back, dear viewers, to talk more about our second topic. Now, we know that we have the Arab Energy and Water Conference exhibition. This is one of the most important, remarkable exhibition itself, the conference itself talking about renewable energy, sustainable energy, how to maintain that, especially when it talks about the climate itself. Now, we know that we are facing a very huge, tremendous situation when it comes into that. Therefore, everyone should take in consideration the most important things in trying to maintain and save all of the energy and water resources that we actually have.
That's why we always mention, in the Ministry of Electricity and Water and Renewable Energy, we call it in Arabic tershid, means like low consumption. We like to work the consumers all the time because we care about the consumers, because about his behavior at the end,
yes.
Because we consider them, he's the main key. It's like he's our team for the we call it the sustainable, for the energy. When we talk about the engineering itself, before we go around throwing the conference, engineering, the meaning of engineering is problem solver.
Yes.
And engineer word, it came from where? From the World War II, that time. Because the Germans, the people they are doing for the tanks, the one who was doing maintenance for the tanks,
yes.
They want to put a title profession for their names. So they put their names NG, because there is engines, so engineer. That's why the word engine means engineer, yes. From that time.
Okay.
They are the people that are considered to be the problem solver. They were applying the science all the
yes.
time. So we are coming back again now to we call about the Arab Water and Energy Exhibition and Conference. It's the first time held here in the state of Kuwait, and with the presence, and it's already under the patronage of His Excellency, the Minister of Electricity and Water Renewable Energy, Dr. Jassim Al-Istad, represented by the Deputy and Under Secretary, Her Excellency, Engineer Mahal Asousi. So yes. It will be like the presence for the high-ranking people in the state of Kuwait representing us, and even about the presence also about the Kuwaiti guests from the GCC countries and even from the Middle East. Why? Because we are sharing the experiences about what happening for the new technology and the new development about water, and even also we call it the energy. Yes. And even there is also 2 workshops, by the way, because the opening ceremony, it will be held when on Wednesday, the 11th of October. So two days before, like Monday and Tuesday, these are the workshops.
Yes.
It's already like combining also with the conference
yes.
itself, Hiba.
This is one of the most important things when it comes into such conferences is actually having that kind of exchanging experience with the Arab region society, because in the end we are dealing with the same situation, dealing with the same circumstances, trying to always find that building energies, resources, and trying to, let's say, find and evaluate the situation, the circumstances that we are actually going through. Because in the end, these energies are very important. Everyone is relying on them, and especially if we're talking about water. In the end, this is one of the resources that everyone is actually living for. Now, we've seen so many people here, especially if I want to talk more about Kuwaiti people. They're talking more about renewable water, trying to, let's say, recycle water again, building them with the new homes itself, having that, let's say, certain pipe for certain, let's say, renewable water again. Like, this is very important to talk about that. We do actually have people who are thinking about that in specific situations, specific, let's say, time, trying to find solution for people here to educate them more. So it is very important to have such conference, especially that you highlighted. This is something, one of the things that are really new in the country, first of a kind to be presented within the region. So hopefully we will get a lot of great information and benefit out of it.
And also there is something else. We'll talk about the climate change, what's happening during these days in the world, because
Yes.
you will see the previous years, the latest years, you will see too many summits, too many conferences talk about renewable energy and even water. Because of the climate change, you saw already what happened to the Middle East.
Yes.
Sometimes you will see the temperature change during the last year in the winter time. It took too many times when you already realized you're feeling cold.
Yes.
Maybe in the last of November or maybe the beginning of December.
Yes.
So even the weather, the climate change in the universe. That's why you will see everywhere there is a conferences about
Yes.
the climate change and the presence of high level of presence from, we call it like Mr. Presidents or Highness, their Highnesses, and even kings. They are
Yes.
doing their best because they are representing their countries in a good way. And even the scientists now, they are doing their best.
Yes.
So that's why before the sake for the environment, for sake for the development. But there is something good things happening during these days. You will see even the cars, you will see electric cars now. You will see now Europe, you will see the Europe continent, they are going through the electric cars. Even in
Yes.
Kuwait, now they are already, we see people now, the demand is increasing for the electric cars
Even
also.
when you're talking about parking, you know, like if you go to a certain parking lot in a certain mall, that you would actually see a specific place provided for electric cars. But you know, I've been through, let's say, for a certain country in Europe, and I've seen lots of energy plugs for these cars, but I was really terrified, to be honest, because in the end everyone is really scared of something new, trying to think that I will never need fuel, but I'm going to, let's say, just park the car and plug it in with the electricity. That is really kind of a new experience for me. Like, people would say that you should be very happy, you should be very proud, but then again, it's a new experience, you know. Having that said, you have to be very brave in order for you to actually achieve that, to be able to understand it and then to apply it. So therefore, having that said, we, I think, should have a lot of awareness, try to educate people more about the circumstances. You know, this is a beautiful machine that is actually presented, but at the same time, we shouldn't feel fear. We shouldn't feel, let's say, terrified of using it, or even the idea of the change, you know. We have to accept it. Like, this is a solution for us to help the universe, to help the climate change, trying to avoid all of the negative circumstances that could actually happen in the future.
And even there is even also more. You talk about now that we call it the electric cars.
Yes.
Let's talk about something, because we're relying all the time, the solar systems.
Yes.
Solar systems now, they are the high demands in the world. Even here in Shigaya, we have like a very big solar system, because, you know, in the hot countries, especially in the desert countries, maybe we are lucky because the climate change, even the weathers, because that's why solars in us, it's better than the others because of this, of the sunlight.
Yes.
That's why even we see we call it the jogging track, you will see now solar system happening in the cooperative societies, all the governorates when distributing, most of the houses now, they are going for the solar systems.
Yes.
And even we have a Shigaya. That's why you will see people now going for we call it like the nature.
Yes.
Nature energy. This is for the sustainable. I remember before I visit one of the houses in Jabir Al Ahmed area. Now they are doing like the new houses and the new homes, for we call them more about, they're doing the solar, and also we call we call it like other energies. You will see like the doors, the electricity in the house, the lifts are different, because now they are going for the new era of the energy consumption, which is the solar systems.
Yes, and talking about solar system, you know, one of the challenges things that we have here in Kuwait is that the market for the solar system is very, let's say, small and rare. Therefore, I remember having one of the guests talking more about it, trying to educate people, but yet again, she was like saying that we actually have the problem of, let's say, certain small market about it, but having people to have aware of it is very important. You know, we've seen now people, especially for the ones who are building their homes in certain areas of Kuwait, are actually having the idea of separating the electricity, the ones that comes from the government, with the solar system that they're actually having at home, trying to present it itself, certain time, certain matter, how to switch it, like how to switch it from my own solar system towards the electricity. Now that comes from the government. Now this is very beautiful and amazing to see people are actually, let's say, more aware about it. You know, I've heard that they say, although we have a lot of sun here in Kuwait, but the problem with our weather, it's dusty, and the dust is actually in the cloud itself. You don't really see it, like we don't have a clear weather. So also one of the problems is that faces the solar system plate itself is that it is so sensitive towards dust, and it has to be always clean and maintained. So maybe this is one of the things that faces people about that. But again, it is very important to actually have it provided and implanted at home.
And also, we'd like to greet also the people who's working in the engineering field, the laborers, the foremen, and even the engineers, the helmets.
Yes.
We talked about before about the White Army. Now we'll talk about the helmets. So greeting for all people who's working in the fields, the helmets people, and they are a different army for the sake. They are building something for all the generation, for all the humans. So let's go to this tiny break, dear viewers. They will move on in your show around Kuwait.
In our school, we have a Rescuer Initiative is a groundbreaking effort focused on ensuring the safety and well-being of students and staff in schools. Its mission is clear: to have capable individuals ready to provide pre-hospital emergency services. These individuals are the rescuers within our schools, trained to respond effectively to various emergency situations. The core objective of this initiative is to equip every school with a dedicated team capable of handling school-related emergencies. These teams undergo comprehensive training, preparing them for a wide range of scenarios, from accidents to laboratory incidents, choking, airway management, wound treatment, and falls from heights. Their readiness to act swiftly at the onset of an emergency is a critical aspect of their training. The vision of this initiative is to provide professional and sustainable emergency medical services, ultimately safeguarding the health and safety of the entire school community. Achieving this vision relies on having qualified and well-trained individuals responsible for emergency response within each school. This initiative's goals are very clear: creating a safe school environment, establishing capable teams in each school, and emphasizing the importance of rapid intervention during emergencies. By targeting students from the 9th to the 12th grade and involving teaching and administrative staff, the initiative ensures that schools are well prepared to handle any emergencies effectively. In our school, we have a rescuer is not just a program, it's a commitment to the well-being of our students and staff. It's about being ready, being trained, and being there when it matters most. With this initiative, schools become safer and lives can be saved through swift and effective action.
What a lovely day, what a lovely moment in our lovely country, state of Kuwait, and our show around Kuwait. We are shedding the light more about the latest events happening everywhere in every category and in every field. Now we'll move on about the education sector that time. We'll talk about the schools. I know this is your majority. I know, like for us, because I used to be a student once upon time. But for you, you are dealing with this time by time every day, you know, because this is your role about how to raising the generations, how to care about their knowledge, and even also we'll talk about their safety also, Hiba, right?
Yes, especially when we're talking about such campaigns that has actually been raised for specific organization in order to educate people more about becoming a rescuer, becoming a person who knows to, let's say, deal with first aid, trying to, let's say, solve the situation and circumstances, because dealing with lives is very important and very delicate at the same time. And dealing with students with a certain age, you know, we have unfortunately lots of students who are diabetic, whether it's type 1 or type 2. And one of the most important thing when it comes into dealing with a diabetic patient is not to let them go in towards a coma because of, let's say, low sugar or high sugar and so on. So therefore you always have to let's say maintain the patient case itself, trying to let them be more aware of themselves, not go into a certain situation. So that's a part of what they could actually deal with in school and all of the things that's happening with that small society and community. But again, this is something very beautiful. A school rescuer is very important. Having an organization or let's say a campaign to educate them, and you have to keep in mind that this actually step is being held voluntary without any cost of money, giving them a chance to actually know and be recognized and be part of school now as a rescuer. If anyone needs their help, they're going to be there. And I'm very sure that everyone is actually going to need their help in that matter, because this is a one-to-one situation, and it deals with a very fast time. You know, you have to be very fast when it comes into rescuing a person.
And also in addition, we have to mention something important. All the schools, they have clinics. So they're like people, they are expert in their field, and
yes,
we always, with some of our children, our kids, our students, they are facing any disease, any symptoms, they directly will go inside the clinics that we call the school clinics.
Yes.
They are checking their high blood pressure, they're checking about the diabetes and even more, and they are their responsibility to aware the students, because I know all the time people volunteering, people doing lectures in the schools all the time, in the school theaters. But the first role about not only the teachers, the people who's working inside the clinics, the expert, they have to aware also every time. And even there is something else. We also appreciate the efforts of the Ministry of Education and Ministry of Health to give too many brochures, and also we call it tips inside the schools.
Yes.
Once you are entering inside, you will see too many like words around you, like be aware, eat well, be healthy food, be better, be positive, be optimistic, ask the specialties, always go seek for care about yourself and each other. This is very important quotes and words, like you are teaching them how to be in the community, to aware the community.
Yes, indeed. You know, Abdulaziz, having that said, certain signals to help students, especially if we were talking about, let's say, for instance, having a fire at school, there has to be some signs for students to know where to go and how to get out from school. So I had this situation with my daughter where I took her to kindergarten, and it was her first day, and I was like trying to let her go to her class. And we were entering the class. She was like telling me, why are we going in the wrong direction? Because the arrow was telling us to go towards the other side.
Direction.
And then I was like, okay, it's a smart way that you're using the arrows of the, let's say, to get away from school in circumstances as, let's say, fire situation, in order for you to go out. Therefore, seeing my daughter actually notice these signals to go outside when a circumstance happen is very amazing, because in the end, schools member, students, everyone there, they're working so hard again in order for them to maintain everyone's health, maintain everyone's safety with the signals, with the, as you just said, all of these important notes being presented over there. And not to forget to mention that the most important thing behind this campaign is to actually educate students, staff members, about how important it is for you to know more about first aid, how important for you to know how to deal with these situations. I mean, these are lives at the end. So many cases could actually happen, and I'm very sure that you've seen through social media a child been hit by a car in front of the school,
Yes.
and
Accidents.
and no one knows how to deal with it, you know. Like, it's a very delicate situation. Should I move the child? Should I keep the child maintained on the floor? You have to make sure that there's no bleeding. If there's a bleeding, you have to stop the bleeding, and so many procedures. And you, as a staff member in school, within the pressure itself, seeing the child crying in front of you, being really terrified of what should I do in this precious
In this situation.
time, is very challenging. Therefore, it is very important for everyone to be, let's say, part of it.
And also, it's worth mentioning the one thing you already said, Heba, to be like we have to be like there is one key word we can say with them: initiative.
Yes.
You have to teach our students to be initiative all the time. Everything is important inside the school. We have to aware them always something wrong happened. You have to take cautious. You have to be the first person to say it. To be like the art of initiative, we can say.
Yes.
I remember
Yes.
once in a lifetime when I've been in the school, maybe okay 15, 20 days years ago. You know, we are.
Yes.
I can say maybe we are young or maybe we are
Yes.
old now.
We're almost the same age. Yeah.
The same age,
No
yes.
worries.
So that time I was in the school. I remember when I went to the basketball court that time. I used to
Yes.
play basketball in the free time. So I noticed, because the courts, you know, there is like nearby court. There is basketball, there is a
Yes.
football court, and the handball court are all nearby in all
Yes.
the schools. When we in the free time, me and my colleagues in the classmates, we saw there is one student is already failing in the ground. I remember that time, and the temperature that time, it was in the summer season, 11 maybe a.m. morning. That time, you know, we are maybe in the primary school.
Yes.
So I see him is already failing. We run towards to him already, but we don't know how to deal with him. So the good thing that time, because some of them saw, the other one called, the other one asked the teacher, the
Yes.
clinic, the medical specialties. We all gather around him. The time when he do the first aid, we are learning from it.
Yes.
So because there is one guy, he took initiative, he did a quick reaction, we saved his life that time.
Yes.
Then we noticed, because he felt dizzy, because his heart rate becomes down, his blood pressure becomes down.
Yes.
So that's the thing. So we have to be initiative.
So dealing with these situations, I'm very sure that it's very important for everyone to educate themselves, either by going through these, let's say, campaigns and classes, or by yourself. You know, it's very important to have a rescuer at home. And with that, Aziz, we're towards the end of today's episode. I was really happy to be here with you, and I'm very sure that even when it comes into the audience, they learned more about what's happening around Kuwait.
So that's why today our episode reviewers, we have like different topics. We'll talk about, first of all, about medicine, the global award already received by the Mubarak Al-Kabir Hospital. Then we
Yes.
moved about from medicine to engineering,
Yes.
about the establishment first time in Kuwait, the Arab Water and Energy already exhibition and conference, and the last and the not least, we'll go about the education.
Yes. Yes, and talking about the rescuer that have to be, let's say, in certain school. And I'm very sure that every rescuer who should be surrounded in every area, whether at home, work, and in the society itself. And with that, that was our episode for today.
And also, we always say all the time, take care of yourself and each other. Have a good day.